Hello and welcome to new and returning viewers. A quick update on where things are going. Typically on Monday, I had for the last little while been putting up fairy tales, which I did enjoy, and it was fun reading from James Finn Garner's books on politically correct bedtime stories and Once Upon a More Enlightened Time. I think Mondays will be changing. I'm not quite sure to what yet, but for this Monday, it's an update on where things are going with the channel. Last week, I did mention the number of projects that I have going on. If you watched my TGIF, Panther the King of Mischief video, you know that he and I have been working on a 1984 versus 2024 project that's comparing George Orwell's novel to what the world looks like now, 40 years later. And hopefully, Panther doesn't decide to help me type up any more of the information. He's sweet, cuddles are fun, but he's not a good little typist and his spelling isn't spectacular. Anyway, so I need to finish that yesterday, and I have my cart here. I love things on wheels, makes my life so much easier. I worked on getting things organized, so now I have all my markers and my pens in a tiki safe location, meaning she's not going to steal them and I need to find them. And I also got all my files in order, so I know exactly what I need to start working on, finalizing, completing. I went through and set up a book to keep track of what's happening on YouTube, where I can make improvements and changes. So I have my analytics, plans and ideas, tips and terms, because I watch a number of channels like Nick Nimmin to get ideas. I also have a section on editing because there's so much to learn and things to remember on how to do that, as well as at the back I have a section on all the channels that I follow and the content that is of interest to me. The other thing that I put together are two charts, and these are on 13 by 13 paper. I bought a huge stack of them at Michael's years ago, and it's great because they come in different colors. Some have a different color front and back, so they're a very handy tool. And on this one, I have 2024, so I have the whole year, and I know that's hard to see there. But what I've made note of on here and will continue to do are all the various booktube events that I'm interested in participating in. And I'll add some other things as well to keep note of that, because I also have my other day planner for my day-to-day journaling. Then I went through all my videos yesterday, and so from January right through until April, I've made note of the titles of all my videos, so again, I know what I've already covered. I didn't go back to 2023 because some of that content I already know I will be revamping and remaking. So I figured I'll just start fresh from 2024. So a lot of what I've been doing in the last few days is just getting organized and putting things together so that once I finally get my bleep together, and I did mention I just listened to that as an audiobook, things should start flowing a lot better and more effectively. Just before I started recording, I noticed this, which is on my desk. This is my little brainstorm binder. I have my yin yang symbol. Explore is the sticker, and this cute little wreath here, Dreamcatcher, says And so the adventure begins. And on the front, to remind myself, this is brainstorm, the different projects. I may need to have some charts and information for it. And then, of course, I need to put together the steps to accomplish what I want to. So I definitely need to get this into effect this week. Now, other things that I've been kind of busy trying to complete are, of course, the 24 in 2024 project. So banned books, and that's taken me on a whole other spiral. And I mentioned the book How Woke One last week. I've also been working towards completing my goal on Goodreads of 50 books. Working towards that, I finished Why People Believe Weird Things last week. It was an interesting read. I'll be comparing this as well with Paranormality, which deals with why people believe in the paranormal. This is by Michael Shermer. Paranormality is by Professor Wiseman. Two very interesting reads, different styles of presenting the information. And I have to say, I definitely enjoyed Michael Shermer's style and information more than I enjoyed Paranormality, but they're both a good read. I also finished The Return of the Gods by Jonathan Cahn yesterday, and it definitely was not the book I was expecting, did not tie in with Zachariah Sitchin, Graham Hancock, Robert Ballal, Alan Alford, or any of the other authors that I had read. It was a very different take on what I expected, but it was a useful read, and I'll talk more about this particular book. And I think I'll put this together with The Pagan Christ that is written by a, I think, minister, priest, I can't remember quite right now. And I need to reread that book, and then I'll do a comparison of the two because it's very interesting, the different perspective. And again, as I've said, I enjoy reading two different perspectives on things, and then you find what fits for you. The pile over here that I have, and yes, Panther and Tiki are both like, really, you just cleared off that spot. But I keep taking over part of their little area where they look out the window. So last week I finished reading all of these books about Helena Blavatsky. I now need to go through, make the notes, put all the information together. It was good because this time, unlike when I did things with the Fox sisters, a lot of the information this time meshes together. I'm a bit shocked that there wasn't more of it, and I do know that her names come up in other books, so again, as I start going through all of that, there'll be more coming together. But I think for now, I have a good start to put together my Hoax or Holy Grail episode on Helena Blavatsky and the Theosophy Society. I just need to check out a few different websites, gather a little more information, and as always, at the end of my Hoax or Holy Grail episodes, I include all the sources that I've checked so people can go and check for themselves. And of course, I always expect people to come up with their own decisions, own conclusions about their thoughts on any subject or any video that I make for that matter. That's why even with the books, I say check your public library, check your local thrift store. In this case, definitely, because I'm glad I only paid $4.50 for this copy versus what it would have cost otherwise, because books have definitely become an investment as they can get quite expensive, as I'll talk about when I get to Helena Blavatsky, as one of her books is now $50. And if it's the title that I'm recalling at the moment, I also came across in a few of these books where some people are saying that work is mostly plagiarized. It isn't her own original work. So no, I'm not paying $50 for something that was just copy and paste from somebody else. So again, research and checking things out before you buy a book is definitely something I recommend. The other book, the book that I started yesterday is Moonchild. This is by Aleister Crowley. It's a very interesting cover. And yes, it doesn't surprise me, Aleister decided to put the pentagram upside down. But as it said in the beginning of this book as well, he's a very interesting individual. He started his own belief system, and I'll talk more about him when I do an episode of Hoax or Holy Grail. This particular book is one of 4 that I got in my Aleister Crowley box set, which I found at Indigo for $25. So that was an excellent deal. I think I may end up going there to get the H.P. Lovecraft box set. I haven't decided yet. And to be honest, I haven't been to Indigo in a while. I've definitely been having a great time at the local thrift store, which fits in with my budget perfectly. And I found some amazing finds there. If you've seen some of my book haul videos, I definitely have a number of books for some new content. Now I just need to get my act together, my timing together, my health together so that I have a few more hours in a day where I can get things accomplished, recorded, and then edited. And speaking of editing, I came across a couple of videos yesterday that caught my attention and really made me take notice, probably because having just read 1984 and The Handmaid's Tale and thinking about where the world's at and thinking about it doesn't matter where lately you travel in my area anyway, it's a very different world. In the past, yes, we've had a number of people who are homeless. It's always been an issue, but that issue is escalating. And now it doesn't matter where you go. Everyone, yeah, it's just increasing. So this whole thing about this particular channel called Watchers, I can't think of the 2 individuals' names. I know one is Shane, he's the skeptic. And I can't for the life of me right now remember the believer's name, but they've announced that they're leaving YouTube and it's costing them too much and they're not making enough money. So they're going to start their own streaming channel. And yes, there's, a huge uproar. Viewers are angry. They feel betrayed because, let's be serious, people have gifted them with their time over years to get them to where they're currently at. And now suddenly people will have to pay to see them. And I get it's a business. Like I say, I watched a video on the world of Mr. Gray that talks about one viewpoint. I watched Doof Doof Paranormal, where there's another viewpoint. I recommend people go watch both of those videos because people are going to have their own opinions. I have a response that I want to make, but I want to put it together properly. And as always, I'm very careful about the words that I use and what I say because I think that is important. So I don't just want to hop into this and off the cuff say something. because there are some specific points to both sides of this that I do want to address. So I'm not sure when that will be put together this week. It's something that I'll start working on in the next few days, certainly as I'm also trying to get other projects finished. So for those who are sticking with me, thank you so much. It's been a interesting journey. It's at the moment just getting a little challenging, let's say, for different reasons. Part of it is I'm itching to get outside and do some yard work, but the weather at the moment is still a little too cold. But there's a lot of things that need to be done because our weather here has been so unusual with the lack of snow. There are plants that I need to get pulled up and get some weeding done and things taken care of. So there's a lot on the go. Anyway, that's just a quick, here's where things are at as things continue to progress. I'll keep you posted. If you are subscribed and you have the notification bell on, then you know when I'll upload content that may be of interest to you. If you're enjoying my content, please be sure to hit that like button. Leave me a comment below, perhaps, about the type of content you enjoy, so that I know in terms of are people really watching about the books, nature, the cats, or all three. That will definitely help me streamline and figure out where I need to put my focus and the videos that I'll be putting out in the future. Until next time, take good care.